Beach.
Oh,
Right before we go live.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready to roll.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting of the Rockbridge County Planning Commission to order. First, we'll have the roll call. Ms. Hennis is me here. Mr. Kramer,
here.
Mr. Lucas, absent. Mr. Whitmore,
Here.
Mr. Watkins, absent. In addition to citizens attending this meeting in person, citizens have several options to view or participate in the Zoom meeting webinar as described below. 1, join the Rockbridge County Planning Commission Zoom webinar. Please click the link below to join the webinar. Or 2, by telephone, dial into one of the following numbers. The webinar ID is 884-3321-9671. Password 499294. If you have never joined a Zoom webinar, you can find instructions to join at the following link, which I assume is on our web page. You can also view the meeting live on the Rockbridge County Planning Commission meeting on the YouTube channel at the following link, which is www.youtube.com/channel. It's got a bunch of other things. Again, I guess that link is on our website. You will see a video that has live now in red text by it or prior recorded meeting. Click on the live now video to watch and listen to the meeting live or view the recorded video another time. Okay, we are ready for citizen comments. Do we have anybody? Nobody's here. Do we have anybody on Zoom?
This would be appropriate time if anyone would like to make a comment. You could raise your hand via Zoom. Not seeing any raised hands, I'll turn it over to the chair.
Okay. So now we're going to go on to the minutes from the July 12th, 2023 meeting. Did you all have a chance to review those? And
I make a motion to approve as submitted. I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the motion passes to approve the minutes as submitted. We're now ready for board reports.
On July 19th, 2023, last month, of course, the Board of Zoning Appeals upheld 3 determination letters pertaining to Quail Ridge Sporting Club. Other than that, that's all we have to report. The TCO did not meet.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is zoning text amendment discussion.
So as discussed in the agenda item, the primary purpose of meeting tonight is to talk about child care centers in the county. Currently, child care centers are permitted use in the business zone and then a use by special exception in the agricultural and general use zoning district. And oddly enough, it's a use by special exception as well in the industrial zoning district. We have at least 2 people interested in opening and operating a child care center in the agricultural transitional zoning district. And currently we don't have any provisions to allow such use. So that's one thing we wanted to talk with the Planning Commission tonight. If y'all deemed it necessary or saw the need for it, we could instruct staff to advertise for a child care center. I would suggest as a use by special exception in the agricultural transitional zoning districts.
I agree. That seems like that makes sense since we're already allowing it in ag district. So I think that is a good plan of action. You guys have any comments on that?
Proceed with that.
Yep, proceed with that. I think that makes sense.
What about I had a question about the residential district.
There are no provisions for it in the residential zoning district. And of course, that's, with all 3 agricultural zoning districts, it's over like 70% of the Rockbridge County. Residential zoning districts, bona fide residential zoning districts are fairly limited in the county at like less than 1.5% of the county.
I think the other thing I'm looking at is it's a child care center. That's not an at-home child care facility, right? Which is allowed in residential. I mean, I know we have some in residential, don't we?
In all, as my understanding, per state law, it's all zoning districts provide for child care centers serving 1 through 4 children, and that would be exclusive of the provider's own children or any children who reside in the house. And so that is, again, per state law, it has to be treated as a single family dwelling. So primarily with my own experience and friends and family, I think we have a large amount of those type of facilities in the county that are limited of the number of children they can serve. Of course, the one we're talking about, or the two we're talking about, one in the southern part of the county, one in Lexington area, would be in an agricultural transitional zone and would not be associated with a single family dwelling. It would be more of a structure for that purpose, if you will.
So child care center can be either 1 to 4 people like we already have in residential, which is allowed in a residential home, or something larger that's a brick and mortar building that is just a child care center with 10 to 50 kids or something.
Yes, with I think it's Department of Social Services licensing requirements, that would be, and building code, of course, would be the two that would be primarily involved in the conversation of how many kids could be there.
Over 4 though, right?
It would certainly be over 4, yes.
But 1 to 4 doesn't require anything.
That's correct, per state law.
Okay.
What about a business license?
Business license, my understanding, business license would be required, I assume, for regardless if it's 1 to 4 in an individual's home, or if it was exceeding 4, for sure, I would say a business license would be required.
Okay. So do we need to have a motion or anything to have staff or just direct them to go ahead and advertise?
It would be, it would require a motion to section 603B in the agricultural transitional district to provide for childcare centers by special exception.
Okay.
Would be the discussion.
Okay, so we would like staff to advertise for a public hearing for a zoning text amendment that would provide for child care centers in the AT district by special exception.
We need to second it, or
Do we need a vote? I mean, so somebody needs to motion that?
It would be, yes, it does require a motion and a second and a formal roll call vote.
He's making that motion, so I'm
I'll
assuming you're
second that.
second.
I'll
So
second the
all in
motion.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. Comprehensive plan update discussion.
So we, the Board of Supervisors have agreed or entered into the agreement with the Central Shenandoah Planning District Commission to do the transportation chapter. And so as reported in the past, that would be essentially a turnkey operation for the transportation chapter. With that being said, staff continues working on the community facilities chapter. And then the largest, in my opinion, the largest chapter, the only chapter we have left, but the most public intensive and work intensive chapter as far as public goes, public meetings, that type of thing, would be the land use chapter. So I would hope in the next month and a half, we could report some findings on the land use chapter.
Okay.
But it is certainly, as always, kudos to Vivica and staff. We've successfully gone through several chapters to date, and all have been updated. I will report on a side note, we've ran into some, and I may have reported this last time, apologize if I did. We've ran into some census issues with the Natural Bridge Magisterial District. And so we're still working through those.
Great. Thank you. Vivica, did you have something to add? No. Okay. So we are on to the Community Development Committee update.
We had a good successful meeting in July, pretty much reviewed some information pertaining to the comprehensive plan, some of the population chapter that we talked about, some discussion on the outdoor entertainment ordinances and possible amendments to those. But other than that, I don't have anything to report. I don't know if Mr. Kramer does or others.
no, I thought it went rather well. I enjoy it, but then I don't have anything else to do on a Tuesday or Monday or whatever it is.
We have certainly found it a good opportunity for Board of Supervisors members and Planning Commission to get together on a monthly basis or talk about the previous things coming up in the Board of Supervisors and vice versa. So I feel it has been beneficial.
Perfect. Thank you. Anything else to discuss? Anything else you need from us, Chris?
No, as discussed in the agenda item when I sent it out, that was the world's shortest package that we've had in 2023. I know that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all three of y'all being here tonight, everyone being here tonight to join us. And I think it's worthwhile to move the child care centers along.
Excellent. Okay.
Thank you.
I did have one additional thing relates to the minutes. No corrections, but let me find it here. It was about the Dominion power rebuild. And I'd asked last meeting if they're going to be using, they call it conductors, wires, non-reflective options. And so on the Forest Service portion, which is most of it, from Snowden all the way to the substation, we require that. And then they said they would be pursuing that. So would there be a mechanism to kind of follow up with them and make sure that they are planning on using non-reflective conductors as well, since it's a scenic byway and really that portion of the power line is right in your face when you're traveling east on 50 or north on 501. So just a request to follow up with them.
Certainly. Was that discussion? I remember that discussion at last month's meeting. Was that not reflected in the minutes?
It was.
Okay.
In the minutes,
Okay,
Dominion will be pursuing. They didn't make a
You just
firm
want to
commitment.
follow up to make sure they actually pursue it and that they are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood. Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. All right. Well, we need a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn this great meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you all for your time.
Bye. Thank you.
Enjoy your trip.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you all very much.
Thank y'all very nicely.